Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is kind of like a spontaneous live stream I'm doing right now. I didn't even plan on going live today. I just going live because I felt like it. Pepper Park, you said Pepper Park 305. You said, did I hear about the girl in Texas at the Waffle House? Yeah, I actually saw that video um probably about an hour ago on Instagram. Somebody had tagged me in it. Yeah, I saw that. That goes back to my soft target theory. And it was two, I believe it was two white cops that handled her. I even saw one of the cops had his hand around her neck, like almost in a choking formation. I'm telling you, Waffle House is about to become the new hot spot, and not in a good way. First one you hear about, you have one who's shooting it up. Now you have the one in Texas where it's a black woman who's getting manhandled by two white cops. And you said over a plastic knife. I wonder, did somebody call that in? Somebody called that in. Somebody probably made a call. Oh, you said it wasn't. Oh, it was in Alabama. Okay, minor correction. It was in Alabama. Now that I think about it, it was in Alabama. We getting our red states mixed up. What's going on, Black Ranger? Yeah, but I just heard about that about an hour ago, and I saw the video. Yes, Sonya sees this is another Waffle House. This wouldn't happen. This was in Alabama. When it's so crazy because Alabama and Tennessee are neighbors. They're the states are right next to each other. And Robin the Girl Wonder, I have to give you a shout out because it was because of you that you sent me that info about James Shaw Jr. If I didn't know about that, because you were the first one to tell me about it, if I didn't know about that, I would have just made that video about the shooter in Tennessee, and I would have completely left James Shaw Jr. out of the equation when he definitely played a huge part in it. Flavor Genuine, the world has been dangerous. It's not getting there. It's been dangerous, and it can only get more dangerous. So it's not getting there would imply that this I guess you could say phenomenon of racism just started like a couple months ago. That would be getting there. It's been there. And like I said, it can only ramp up from here. But yeah, I decided to just come on here and do this live stream because I was going back and forth whether or not I was going to go live today or not. It's kind of like how the title suggests that it was a spontaneous live stream, but I won't be on here very long. I'll probably be on here to maybe 8:15. So it's going to be pretty short. It's not going to be lengthy like the previous ones. Yes, Jamal Bay, I did hear about Colin Kaepernick receiving the Amnesty Award. If y'all don't know what he's talking about, Colin Kaepernick got this award. I think it was called some kind of conscious award. I gotta look up what the actual title of it is, but it's a pretty big deal. Let's see. Yeah, he got an Amnesty Award. And he was named the Ambassador of Conscience at this award ceremony. And to my knowledge, based on what I'm reading, he put a lot of people on blast. It said It said he blasts lawful lynchings and defends the anthem protest when he accepted the Amnesty Award. I might do a video about it. What's going on, Leo Johnson? Y'all want to know what's so ironic? They had that. This three things happened on Friday. One, that was the 19th anniversary of the Columbine shooting. I remember when that happened. I was about 10 years old. I was in school when it happened. And that's like they literally tried to keep us shielded from what was going on in the news. But when we got home, that's all they talked about. That's one thing. Two, they had another one of those school walkouts. Like I guess, for gun violence in the schools. And three, they had a school shooting in Florida. All three happened on the same day. Can you guess which one didn't gain that much traction? Yes, on you see, they did expose her breasts on video. I almost thought they was going to rip her dress off right there in front of everybody. Exactly. The school shooting didn't gain that much traction. Notice they're not really talking about it at all. And it's probably because no one died. Someone did get injured. And I am going to post a video about it probably after I do this live stream. And they reveal who it was. And they're already trying to say, well, he's a brown person. I said, nope, you're not going to do that. I said, and you know what? I'm not going to give it away. I'm going to let the video speak for itself. I almost gave away what I was going to talk about. And you know how I know it didn't gain much traction? Because on Twitter, it wasn't even trending. The school walkout and Columbine were trending, but that was not. And on Twitter, they have a top 10. And trending, that one wasn't even on the list. They did their best to cover that up. The only good thing that happened, like I said, out of this one is that no one got killed and they were able to apprehend the shooter within mere minutes of him starting his little terrorist act. They wasn't about to let another Nicholas Cruz occur twice in the same year. That's what they weren't trying to allow happen. Exactly. You know what? Thank you, M. Mitch, for bringing that up. Four things happened that day. Those two cops in Florida got killed. The guy who ran up to the window at that restaurant and shot through the window and killed both of them. I said that had to be a target. That wasn't anything random because, like I said in my video, if it was a random attack, he would have went into the restaurant and started blasting everybody. But he shot them from outside. He saw them and was like, "Oh, pop, pop, boom, dead." So thanks for bringing that up. Four things happened that day. They barely talked about that because they found out the person indeed was a white man. And shout out to True Royal Family. She did a video about the guy, but it's like conflicting reports because we have the guy's name, but when you look him up, it's like it's giving you pictures of someone else that's not him. But we already know he's white. They've already described him as a white male. But he's dead though, because I think he killed himself. But the thing that gets me so much about the recent shooting in Tennessee at the Waffle House is that this guy, they said, was semi-nude. He walked in there with an AR-15, an assault rifle, and started shooting up the place, killed 4 people. The guy James Shaw Jr. was able to disarm him and he got away. And when I was reading some more after I finished the video, they said he put on some black pants, he had no shirt on, and he got away. But the thing that got me is this guy actually drove from Illinois, from Chicago, not Chicago, but from the state of Illinois, because he was from this place called Peoria, and drove all the way to Tennessee to do this. Now, I've also found out too is that the Secret Service is looking for his ass. That means he has a lot of priors on him. I would like to see his entire criminal history because I know it didn't just start here. It had to be something that was growing in order for them to try to find him. But he's still on the run as far as I know. Oh, you say he lives in Tennessee, but he's from Illinois. Peoria sounds like a white town. It sounds like a very small town. As a matter of fact, when I was reading it, it said that their population is like 16,000. So it's one of them towns where everybody knows everybody. So that would explain why the Secret Service is probably looking for him. They said he was arrested last year at the White House for gun possession. So, like I said, this guy's making his rounds. He's in Illinois. He was at the White House in DC, and now he's in Tennessee. At Kingston, I knew they was going to talk the mental illness card when he ran up in the Waffle House half naked. I said that in the video. I said they are going to try to pull the mental illness card because he ran up there with barely any clothes on, carrying around an AR-15. Pepper Park, you said, did you hear about the guy that stabbed his ex-girlfriend in a church parking lot? I can't say that I have heard about that one. But the guy James Shaw Jr., like I said in my video, he is a hero. I found out the reason why he had the bandage on his hand was because when he was getting the gun away from the terrorist, because that's what we're gonna call him, he was holding the barrel of it, and you know when you shoot bullets out of that barrel, it's hot. So his hand was burning, and I know that had to be painful to hold onto that barrel just to get the gun away from him. I wouldn't be surprised if he has a social media account. Many of them hide behind that computer. A lot of those trolls that probably used to come to my old channel, I wouldn't be surprised if they involved in some shit. You said most of his victims were alphas and deltas. Most of it, and James Shaw is in alpha. Yeah, because it said that he was at a frat party. And I think he went to Tennessee State, which is an HBCU. What did y'all think about that story about that judge in Florida who was being real disrespectful to that black woman in the wheelchair? That poor woman ended up dying 3 days later. I said she was absolute, like she made me mad. Like she pissed me the fuck off in that video. She was talking to her like she really genuinely didn't want to be there, and that she was only there to secure that check. So you see, yeah, go ahead and check. That's on my channel. It was this white judge in Florida who was literally talking like really disrespectful to this black woman in a wheelchair who had clearly had a physical and an internal ailment because the woman was having like breathing problems. and she ended up quitting her position as a judge. And it's most like some people I had said it was because of guilt, but then when I was reading the comments, they said it most likely wasn't because of guilt. It was probably because they forced her to quit because of the backlash that she was going to receive, which was a lot of it. Like that was so messed up. And I said the saddest part is because she died 3 days later. And I think that's what made her or made them force her to quit was because of her dying. I remember when I used to laugh when Lovely T used to always say ratchet ass Florida in her videos. But now when you start to do commentary yourself and you hear these stories pile up about that state, you can see why she said it, like why she said it in her commentaries. She was being worse than Judge Judy. I've never seen Judge Judy do that to any of the people in the courtroom. And she's a TV based judge. What this woman was doing was just absolutely despicable. I could tell she probably has said the N word a few times in her life. Probably behind the scenes and probably in person. A Black Ranger, we know that we just finished talking about that. I'm surprised they actually gave him some airtime because the clip that I saw him speaking out was on CNN. I'm surprised they actually allowed him to speak. But one thing I wish they would stop doing is having these people speak out as soon as something happens. Like this event that happened at that Waffle House happened this morning. It happened at 2:30 a.m. I don't know what the time zone is like over there. I think they're on Midwest time. So if it was 2:30 there or around early in the morning, then it had to be, of course, it was maybe an hour later here. The guy literally just disarmed this guy, damn near could have died himself. And y'all want to give or put him in front of cameras. The same exact day, I'm sure the guy's probably in pain. And when I was looking at the clip that I saw, it was about 30 seconds. You can tell that when he was talking, okay, thanks, Craig J. You say you're on Central Time. When you can tell when he was talking, he was in complete and utter shock. Like he still cannot believe that he alone was able to disarm this shooter. You can tell by his body language and by the way of his tone when he was talking. He just couldn't believe he did what he just did because, and you know what? That would be natural because you put your life on the line there, and you were trying to save as many people as possible. And another thing that probably was going through his mind was like, man, if I had acted a little bit sooner, I could have saved 4 people. But I also read that 2 of the people that got shot were shot outside of the Waffle House, and 2 people were shot inside. And when I saw that story about the Waffle House, like I said in the video, all I could think about was the black guy that was attacked by those 2 white men in the Waffle House back in 2015, and how they were attacking him, and he pulled out his gun and he shot one of the guys, and the other guy had to run and try to carry his friend or whoever that guy was to him to try to get him to the hospital. And basically on his way there, he pretty much bled to death, and I think he crashed his car, and he bled to death and he died. And they were almost brought up charges on the black guy, but when they saw that he had a license to carry and that he was defending himself, basically, like I said, those surveillance cameras saved him. If it wasn't no camera footage or those witnesses, he probably would be in jail. You said she was trying to wrap it up so she can go get that cocaine. She was trying to get them opioids. That's what she was trying to get. Oh yeah, Queen Crystal. Yes, he was really, really quick with pulling out that gun. He didn't waste no time. And it was another. As a matter of fact, it was another incident that happened at a Waffle House where you had a black guy going against the pale males, as Professor Black Sheep calls them. And y'all may remember this one because this one happened, I think, maybe a year or two after that one. Now, no one got shot, but it was one where this black guy these white males had gotten a confrontation with him, and it was literally like 2 against 1. But then when he was getting the best of both of them, then one of his girlfriends, or the white male's girlfriends, had tried to jump in it and try to get him too. He went off on her too, so it ended up becoming like 3 against 1. And this was a big black guy. Like, this was a big black dude, like looked like he could probably lift the Waffle House off its foundation. And you had these little puny white dudes who probably ride Harleys for a living, thinking that they could go at this guy. He handled all of them. And speaking of people getting them hands, what did y'all think of that other video I posted up yesterday with the black man versus those 2 colonizers? Now, I had to end up age restricting that video, and I kind of knew that I would, because it will be considered violent content. So if you don't have an account on YouTube, you can't see the video. But I think it's pretty much made its rounds. But yeah, he was handling the both of them. Now, I don't know where the hell one of them got a fucking guardrail from and tried to use that as a weapon. But that black dude caught that shit. And when he was holding on to the thing, that one in the pink ran in the house and ran and got his gun. He pushed that guardrail so hard that other guy went flying back, and that black guy took off running. He ran like the goddamn Flash, because the guy in the pink with the gun, he was so damn discombobulated, he didn't know which way was up. He was looking back and forth like he didn't know which direction the guy ran. And when the people who was recording the video had pointed the camera towards their windshield, the guy was gone. He kicked up dust and was out of there. Yeah, Craig J, the guardrail video. He snatched the guardrail from his house. That thing must have not been cemented too tight, because usually them things are cemented and they're hard to pick up. So it must have been loose. That wasn't a zebra that was chasing them Black Ranger. That was a giraffe. I remember that video. He's talking about the one where it was some white women. I guess they was on some kind of safari, and they were in a truck and they were driving all fast, and all of a sudden you saw this giraffe chasing after them, and all you saw was the neck peeking around the corner and literally chasing after them. I'm like, what the hell did they do to affect a gentle animal such as a giraffe to cause a giraffe to get pissed off at them? All you heard was them, oh my God, keep going, it's coming after us. Like, that shit was hilarious. If you go on YouTube, you can probably find it. And the one on the beach was the one where it was I think it was some some sororities, like black sororities, and they were stepping on the beach. And in comes this this offbeat female colonizer trying to insert her way in, and the black guy said, "Excuse me, miss," and just kind of bumped her out of the way. He didn't pull her away; he just bumped her out, and she just kind of boop, just kind of fell out of the frame. I said they were probably there just to hunt it. I said, if you want to know why there's so many animals that are extinct, look no further than the colonizer that is killing them. I mean, think about it. When you see all them cabins and stuff, those log cabins in the woods, and you see and you look up on the mantle, you see all kinds of animal heads up there. You got deer heads, boar heads. You have the bear skin rug with the bear head attached to it, and a host of other things. Queen Christy, you say your favorite is the woman getting beat up in the Boost Mobile. Yeah, like it was just a war of words at that point. It was just a war of words with them. But when that woman said and called them black bitches, that was the triggering point. And them two women went back at her and whooped her ass. If it wasn't for that counter holding her up, she would have been on the ground. And then when the other lady was, when she thought she was done, that other girl came back and did that damn 300 kick. And it was like, okay, we can go now. We done. Now there was this other video that I had saw on YouTube last night. I'm not gonna post it up on here. And it was this black girl who was in school, and she got into a fight with this white girl, and she was getting like the best of the white girl because the white girl didn't want to fight her, but apparently the white girl must have did something to her. And then all of a sudden you see this big white woman come in and was like, you know what? She was like, stop it, stop it, stop it. She's like, who the fuck do you think you are? Now, mind you, this is a grown white woman talking to a teenager like that. Now, it was another girl with the black girl, and this girl had a black power fro. Like she looked like straight up Angela Davis, like perfection fro. And these are girls who are in high school. And she jumped in front of her sister and got in the woman's face and he was like, who do you think you're talking to? She said, that's my sister. Don't you ever talk to my sister like that. And then the white woman was saying a whole bunch of stuff like that. Then the white woman started to charge towards her and like use her weight to try to push her back. That girl pushed her and then just started going in on her. And all of a sudden you hear that white woman saying, she's attacking me. She's attacking me. And then they got her out of the room. The white lady came back and said, I'm pressing charges on you. She said, I'm going to have the police come and arrest you. She was like, bitch, do it then. They tried to hold the girl back. That girl broke free and went on her some more and was still yelling, she's attacking me. She's attacking me. She said, I'm going to press charges on you. She was like, help me, help me, help me. Oh my God. I'm not even making this up. I saw the video last night. I just posted the link to that video I was telling y'all about in the description. I don't want to put it on here because then I'll probably try to age restrict this one because they say it's too violent. But that's the link right there. Because, like I said, all the girl was doing was defending her sister. When that woman jumped in the way that she did and got in that girl's face and said, "Who the fuck do you think you are? And what the fuck do you think you're doing?" Like, watch the video and you'll see. It's only a minute long. It's a very short video. Made it all the way to World Star because it had the little logo right there, the watermark going across the screen. And it said, and the video was posted 2 months ago, so it was recent. I had to block a troll from my channel yesterday on that video that I posted with the black guy was fighting those two white guys because they always, them trolls are very very transparent. He tried to come on in and say, why did you have to try to make it into a race thing? It was just guys fighting each other. Why had to make it to a race thing? Because it is, motherfucker. It just is. That's why I didn't even respond back to him. I just blocked him because we are in the age of no more white splaining. I see the people who got the link watch the video. Hey, Jamal Bey, I remember I did a video about that on my old channel about the Asian woman who got the wake up call through Airbnb. I don't know why a lot of people still recommend them because they have a very racist history. I'm gonna talk about one more thing and then I'm gonna wrap it up. And I feel like this is the perfect topic to bring up. So, who saw the video that I did about the Stouffer seasoning wraps? When I first learned about that, I was too done. I was flatlined, down for the count, over with. I said that has to be the most laziest shit I have ever seen in my life. I mean, you are putting seasoning attached to adhesive on parchment paper, and then you put the chicken on there, you roll it up, you pat it down, stick it, and then you put it in the pan or in the oven, bake it, and then serve it. Meanwhile, if you just go to the store and buy your seasonings or your marinades and you prepare it the right way, you won't have to do all of that. Seasoning wraps. Well, before I found out they were seasoning wraps, I was calling them seasoning sheets, but I guess the words could be interchangeable depending on how you look at it. But still, at the same time, I could not stop laughing at that. And I had saw the commercial for the first time this week, and I was like, they did right by having it being advertised with a white woman and a white child, because there's no way in hell it would have been believable with a black woman and a black child. And even after they do all of that, I bet you that it will still taste bland. Exactly, Ghetto King. It's lazy, pure laziness. When I was prepping my food today for the next 3 days, and I was doing the chicken, all I could think about was like, I'm glad I don't use any of them goddamn god awful seasoning wraps, and I can season my food the way that I want to. And see, the thing is, you don't know how much of that seasoning is on there, and you don't know how long them wraps been sitting, and it's stuck to adhesive paper. When I think of adhesive, I think of the envelopes that you lick in order for them to stay down. When I think of adhesive paper, I think of the sticky paper used when you're trying to get whatever rodents, like roaches and mice and stuff of that nature. That's what I think of when I think of adhesive paper, not putting your damn seasoning on there and then eating it. Like that's no. Yeah, exactly. Hood Mitch, a sticky trap. Exactly, Image. You probably have to add more seasoning, but see, the thing is, they're not familiar with all that seasoning stuff, and they still won't add it. I'm like, you had Paula Dean's racist ass cooking up on Food Network, cooking like a black person for years, and you mean to tell me that you still don't season your food? It's amazing. They've stolen a lot of things from us, except for how to season their food. But I guess Sonya sees a Karen wraps. Yeah, Karen is not allowed to the. She's not allowed to the cookout. She's not even allowed to send a dish, especially if it's potato salad. And they probably think they actually doing something with them wraps. They're not doing a goddamn thing with them goddamn wraps. They can miss me with that. All right, y'all. I said I would be on here at 8:15, and it's now 8:15. I told you it wasn't going to be a long live stream, but I'm glad y'all were able to join in. I don't know, the next time I go live, maybe sometime next week, is a reason why. I'll explain that probably toward the end of this week on my regular channel. But I'm glad y'all were able to join in. It was just a, like I said, spontaneous live stream I decided to do because I was kind of bored and I wanted to, do a live stream because I hadn't done one in a few days. But I'm gonna go ahead and prepare to upload this other video. It's gonna be about the shooting that happened in Florida. I meant to upload that before the one in Tennessee, but because the one in Tennessee was literally the more dominant story right now, I wanted to put that one out there first, and then I'm gonna do the Florida shooting one. But I'm glad y'all were able to join in for those of you who did, and I will talk to y'all later.